Hello, my name is Kerstin and I'm cooking a typical German dish, a main course for you today. That's called Kassler with Kartoffelpüree and sauerkraut, meaning it's Kassler meat with mashed potatoes and sauerkraut. Let me present you the ingredients for our dish today. First, the meat. It's nearly a kilogram of Kassler, that's pork meat, close to the rib. It has a bone here, it's surrounded by fat that will prevent the drying during the stewing. We'll add later on broth to the meat, apricots, 8 apricot halves out of a can, fixed with toothpicks on meat, and we'll thicken the sauce afterwards with cornstarch. These are the ingredients for the mashed potatoes. Nearly a kilogram of potatoes already peeled, sliced and salted in water. Later on I will add hot milk, salt, large piece of butter and grated nutmeg, one of my favorite spices. Then we come to the sauerkraut, so typically German that the English language adopted the German word sauerkraut. Here we have it in a plastic bag. We'll prepare it with onions, pork lard, broth also. We'll add hot water to the broth. Caraway, I love the word caraway, the spice that takes your cares away. It helps to soothe your digestion. Of course, there will be salt, pepper, and a little bit of sugar, and an apple. I won't peel the apple because all the vitamins are underneath the peel. And let me just explain about the word Kassler. It connects the meat to Berlin. There are two ways of explaining the Kassler. One part of people say there was a Berlin butcher called Kassel who invented a way to preserve meat. That means he put it into salt in order to preserve it and smoked it. So this is a piece of cured and already salted meat, very salty. That's why you find here no salt added in addition. And the other half of the people say the word Kassler comes from the French word of casserole, the stewing pan that the French Huguenots brought to Berlin under Frederick II. There's no proof for each of both ways of explaining, so let your fantasy play. So we'll start with the meat. It's already doused with cold water and dabbed with paper towels. I put it in the oven that's already preheated at 230 degrees Celsius. But before I put some already boiled water over it, just as the recipe says. So not all too much, like that. Nothing added else. That comes later. And off we go into the oven. Stays there a second for 45 minutes. Next thing is to cook the potatoes. So next thing is the sauerkraut. The potatoes are cooking in salted water. And for the sauerkraut, that's white cabbage preserved in salted water. So they are developing lactic acid bacteria. which is very good for the digestion also. We start with a tablespoonful of lard. Put it into a pot. Wait just a second. I washed my fingers and brushed my nails. And add a small onion. Because I love onions, I peeled and sliced 2 small onions. And they are fried now softly in the lard. Let's make a cut until the lard is hot enough. The onions are glassy, so we add the sauerkraut. Loosen it a little bit. The recipe says we should take 750 grams, but as we are only 3 persons and not 4, I leave it to the 500 grams in the bag. Yeah. Digging deep. Getting all the kraut out of it. Then I'll add the salt, the sugar, the pepper, and I grind the caraway. So it gives more taste. And then the sliced apple. Oops. Mix it well. And add a little broth. Okay. Oops. So now I leave it on its own and wait until it boils softly, smoothly. Let's make the potato test. They're already done. Yes, they are. Yeah. So let's make another cut so I can get them out of the go. So the potatoes are out of the water and ready to get mashed. So let's start. With a nice functional masher. Yes. Then we add slowly the heated milk. Careful not to add too much liquidy. Yeah, it gets snowy, so I guess that's the time to change to this nice instrument. Okay. Whoop. Ooh! Two knife tips of salt added. Whole of the milk, carefully. What a nice mash. Best is yet to come. At least 2 tablespoons full of butter. The more butter, the better it tastes. And I love it, the grated nutmeg. This will do. Not too much of this one. Oh, that looks good. And it smells well. Oh, the butter is not done already. Not done yet, so a little bit more of stirring. Yummy! Okay, let's keep it nice and warm. Would you please go back a little so I can look at the have a look at the sauerkraut? Yeah, a little bit too much. Okay, I reduced the heat. So the only thing that's left is to clean up this mess and the meat. So we make another cut. So the meat has spent 45 minutes in the oven at 230 degrees. Now we get it out. Ah, hot, 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 hot. Ooh. And just in case you wondered where the apricots are, now they're coming. I'll start at the top first. That's repetition, so maybe we could make another cut. Now the apricots are done, the meat also. 8 halves around the meat. Back in the oven at 250 degrees for another 10 minutes. make we another cut. So another 10 minutes gone by. Oh, hot. Apricots have fallen off. Okay. Switch on the oven. Now I have to get it out. Roast out of the pot. And I just wonder how to do it. Okay. Oops. Because the next thing is the sauce. Oh, I dropped an apricot. So, this way. There. This is the cornstarch. I add cold water. Just a little bit, about 4 tablespoons. Mix it well. Stir it well. Oh, I forgot. I have to switch on the oven, the cooking plate. The cooking device. Ah! Oh shit. So we put pot. Okay. The cornstarch with cold water. Add it to the broth from the roast. And now we have to wait until it cooks, boils. Okay. We'll add a little amount of broth for the taste. Oh. Wait what happens. In the meantime, I'll cut the roast, and so I guess we could make another. Now the broth is cooking and the cornstarch begins to thicken the sauce. I won't add a lot of spices, in fact none, after tasting, and now I think the sauce is done. So we'll make another cut so I can cut the roast. So the roast is sliced up, decorated with an apricot and added with mashed potatoes and the sauerkraut. I didn't add any mild vinegar to the sauerkraut because it's already sour enough. So I guess we're ready to eat and enjoy the meal. Thank you.